Charles and I are looking forward to sharing more of our own adventures with our RV and our new off-grid home in Vermont very soon. But this week, while we are in the process of making that transition, we wanted to celebrate our enthusiasm for non-traditional homes with the story of our friend Laura and her super sturdy, energy-efficient monolithic dome home. Laura's dome home was built just a few years ago, but her affection for the surrounding East Texas piney woods goes all the way back to her childhood.
So my parents have had this property for a long time. The late 70s, they purchased the land, and I think that they built their lake house in the early 80s. So I grew up as basically my entire life coming out here on weekends and spending time out here whenever we could. So it's always been kind of a second home to me. So when the land next door to their property came up for sale, it just seemed like a no-brainer to me. It was much less expensive because it wasn't lakefront. When I was a little kid and we went to Barbados and we visited my grandmother's sister, she had a round house. It wasn't a dome, but it was a round house. And so even as a kid, I sort of had this fascination with the idea of this round house. And I just thought that was the greatest thing. And then I think at some point, going back and forth between Dallas and Austin, I think that big caterpillar probably caught my attention at some point on the side of the road. And after some investigation, figured out that that was the monolithic dome and started doing some research. First and foremost, I liked the low maintenance aspect of it. I don't have to worry about hail damage, replacing the roof. I don't have to worry about termites. I don't have to worry about fires. It's a very low stress kind of house to have. The other major part I liked about it was the energy efficiency. It's really well insulated.
And can you talk a little bit about how they make the monolithic domes?
They create an air form, which is the outer part of the dome, and they inflate it. So it looks like just a big, like a blow-up raft type thing in the shape of the house. And then they go inside, they spray the thick layer of foam, and then they do rebar, and then they put the concrete on the inside of that. So it's actually a pretty quick process once you get to that stage. And then from there, once you have the concrete shell inside, you're just finishing out like you would a normal house.
So is living in the dome what you expected it would be like?
Yeah, I would say for the most part it has been. There were a few more little things that I had to think about than I had originally anticipated, mostly around kind of the humidity inside the dome. If the humidity goes too high, then I have problems with mold. So I have mini split air conditioners, and they do dry out the air, but then it makes it feel really cold. The temperature things I had thought were going to be really easy, but when you take the humidity into consideration, that's kind of a ongoing project.
What are some of your favorite things about living in the dome?
Really, my favorite thing is just the feeling of security. Like, you always want to feel like your home is your safe place, but I really feel that way with the dome. Like, just in the last month, we had several episodes of severe storms come through this part of Texas, and it was nice to know that they were coming and not feel like I needed to do any kind of special preparation. And even if one of my trees fell on the house, it would be fine. I just got an off-grid solar system installed. So I have a fully electric car. So right now, the solar is mostly powering that car. But my parents, who have property next door to mine, are going to be getting an electric mower shortly. So it will also be housing and charging the mower. As an emergency system, I have 200-foot extension cords. And I actually did this the other day when my power went out. I can plug them into the garage, just run them right across the street to my house, and power pretty much everything I need in the house. I'd like to at some point get some kind of little irrigation system for the garden that it could also power with doing the pump from the water. because my plan is to catch some of the rainwater and then use that to irrigate the gardens. So one of the first things that I did when I moved out here was plant some trees. So I've got 2 rows of trees here. I've got pear trees, I've got plum trees, I've got peach trees, I have a couple apple trees, and then I have some almond trees.
I remember that you wanted to move out to the country for years before you were finally able to do it.
Yeah, I had been tired of living in the big city for quite a while and was looking forward to being able to move out to a more rural environment, closer to nature, just being able to feel like I could walk out my door and be surrounded by trees instead of concrete, strip malls, and cars. One of the biggest challenges for me to be able to move out here was actually the internet and my job. I had to drive into the office every day, so it was actually the pandemic that provided me the opportunity to move out here because we shifted to a work from home arrangement. So once they shifted to that, then the challenge was the internet. In many rural places, there's just not good options for internet, and unfortunately that was the case for my home. I've had to make various solutions work using cellular-based internet, and thankfully it's done actually a pretty good job. So welcome to the Dome. One of the things that people always say the minute they walk in is, wow, it's so big in here. Even though it is a small house, it's only about 900 square feet. But with just me and the dogs, that's ended up being plenty of room. I have attic access, but obviously it's very high up. So Charles actually helped me with this design and build, and it's worked out perfectly. So this is the guest bathroom. So the mirror ended up working out perfectly because the space is a little bit awkward with the curved wall here. So this mirror actually mounted, rotates, has storage space on the back. Have a shower. I like my little light fixtures up there. Okay, so then moving on to the sort of dining area slash workstation area, gaming area, board game collection here. So you could pull out a game from halfway down and not have all the other games crash down around you. And then the kitchen. The biggest problem I had was probably with the kitchen cabinetry. I had a lot of companies come out and say it wasn't going to be a problem. They could easily do the kitchen cabinets. Then I would get a call a couple weeks later saying, you know, we plugged all the numbers into our computer and it's just not making sense of it. So they would kind of back out. So after many frustrations on that, I actually found a family friend, and I said, look, if I just get stock cabinets from Home Depot, can we make this work? And he said, yes. Also got this nice little hanging light to give me more storage space. Laundry area. This is a combination washer and dryer. So you put everything in there, you set it, and then about 4 hours later, a little chime dings and you open it and everything's done. So my bathroom, and because we had, of course, the straight bathtub and the curved wall, I just had them build a little shelf there. Closet back here. For my clothes, and I have a chest of drawers. I have a little hanging bar there just for a few things that need to be hung up. Then the bedroom. Right now you can see it's set up as a bedroom, but this is my bedroom slash office. Just push it up, just like that. Got a nice big empty space. And transition to work mode. This little closet is for the hot water heater, and then it's got a little extra storage space too. And Charles again helped me modify. You can see the curved wall. We had to cut away some of the shelves there to make it fit. In front of that mini split, that's my ERV. So the house is very airtight. So it's important to have a little mechanical assistance. It brings the fresh air in, takes the stale air out, and keeps the good airflow going. The only downside I've had with the ERV is, again, living in a wooded area. I've had a couple occasions already where a skunk has sprayed during the night outside, but the ERV brings that air in. And of course my Great Pyrenees, who is bred to be highly on alert for predators and other wildlife, charges up, runs back into the bedroom because she smells the air in here and just goes ballistic with barking, thinking that we've got a skunk on the loose. I've got some bird feeders right outside, so it's a nice view while I'm working.
Local wildlife is abundant in Laura's neighborhood, and April is an exciting time for animal activity, as we noticed when we sat down to film an interview. Well, we didn't figure on carp noise interrupting our video. Laura has learned to take certain precautions to coexist peacefully with her non-human neighbors, like bringing a flashlight to walk outdoors at night, and decorating her front window for the birds.
So I'm a huge bird watcher. I love watching the birds, so it was really terrible for me to hear the strikes on the window, and I even found a couple little dead birds outside. So did some research and got the little sticker strips to put on there, and that has solved the problems.
Thanks for joining this tour of Laura's monolithic dome home. Stay tuned next week for the arrival of Charles and his dad in Vermont and the earliest stages of setting up our new homestead.